Sir,
Sorry,
hi, good
sorry. Yeah,
morning.
yeah. Sorry, I was muted and talking. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good morning, sir.
Oh,
I have a small doubt.
yes.
Sir, which is more effective to watch the videos and then do the activities, or, you know, to do the activities and then watch the videos?
Both are different actually. At least yesterday's homework, if you have seen, the
Mm,
activities were from the content that we discussed yesterday, but the videos are actually related to the
correct,
session
correct.
that
That is
we are going to
yes.
do today.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So every
Okay,
day it's
right.
different. You can go in the order that was mentioned in the tasks. Yeah.
Yeah, because these subjects are like what we are doing is very much intense, and it takes some time to do all these, right? So that's why I wanted to
Understood.
ask. Okay, so
Absolutely, ma'am.
thank you
Yeah,
so much.
totally
Yeah, thank you.
understood. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for asking. Okay, so yeah, welcome everybody, and let's get started. And I will briefly summarize on what we have been discussing in these last 3 days. So we tried to start understanding. So we saw that the root cause of all our issues and the conflicts that we keep seeing in day-to-day life at various levels of our living, whether it is within ourselves or in relationships and our participation in society, at work, and also in nature, we try to identify that the root cause is the right understanding, lack of right understanding. And we also appreciated the fact that every human being wants to be happy and prosperous in a continuous basis. And to achieve this basic aspiration, the program is same for every human being. It may be different in the details, but at a higher level, every human being needs to understand the various dimensions of living, that is myself, family, society, nature, and get the right understanding of that, of these various levels we live in, and actually live in harmony at all these levels. So the harmony needs to be within myself and in my participation at all these orders. Only then I can achieve this, the continuous happiness that we are talking about. And we also saw that we have a self verification tool that we need to use to verify that whether what we are thinking, our proposals, our assumptions, our desires, whether they are universal, whether they are harmonious or not. We have this self verification tools at our disposal. If we use that, we can validate and find out whether what I am doing is the right thing or not, and it will clearly at least indicate that what we are doing is in the right direction or not. So the self-verification tool is at our disposal for that. So please keep exercising that tool at various instances of our life, so that if you have any doubts in the next few days, you can clarify. I was thinking like this as per the self-verification tool. Am I thinking right or not? So these kind of questions you can ask in the discussion sessions. And then we also saw that human beings need right understanding and relationships and physical facilities. Any one of this is not completely sufficient. We need all three. And if we have the right understanding, we will see happiness in relationships and mutual prosperity with respect to facilities. So we saw this and then went on to understand about the human being in detail. And then we saw that the human being is a coexistence of self and body, and these are two completely different entities. And the needs of the self are things like trust, respect, satisfaction, affection, etc., which are fundamentally related to happiness, whereas body needs things like nurturing, protection, and right utilization. And the fulfillment is a very different kind of thing. So for fulfilling continuous happiness, the only way is to have the right understanding and right feelings within me and be in harmony. That's how that harmony can be achieved. And whereas for the bodily needs, we have things like foods, clothing, gadgets, instruments, shelter, etc., etc., to fulfill the needs of the body. Now, the gross mistake that we as human beings keep doing was proposed in front of you as assuming ourselves to be body. So I am my body. That's the assumption. So for happiness, we try to keep using these physical facilities. For gaining attention from others, we keep using these physical facilities, and we are in a trap because this can never give that continuous happiness. We keep trying. At the end of the life, we realize that I haven't still achieved that satisfaction, even if after all the physical facilities that we have accumulated. So the proposal is, let's recognize the fact that This right understanding and right feelings are required for the human being to reach a state of contentment and satisfaction and happiness, and work on these also, along with working on physical facilities, which we are anyway doing because the society is training us to do that as part of the system to get educated, get a degree, get a job. So all that caters to the meeting the needs of the physical facilities. Whereas nobody is actually paying attention or putting effort systematically to on this right understanding and right feelings. So this let's pay attention and focus to these so that we are fulfilling the need of the self with what it is supposed to be fulfilled and not something else. So that was about the understanding human being in detail. And then we saw that the self is the decision maker for everything. So every small information that from the outside world is coming to me as in myself, and that information we process, whether it is a visual information, audio information, smell information, touch information, all kinds of information. Even when somebody is saying some words, those words are coming as audio to us and we are processing whether that person is saying something nice or not something nice, etc. So and then this analysis happens inside me, and I decide how to respond. So it's ultimately me who is deciding how to respond. It's not happening without my decision. So I have the full control over my response. If I really want to respond in the right way, I can still do that. So I have full control over this response to anything happening in the external world. I don't have to be kind of triggered by everything around me. I can still be in my balance and respond properly, irrespective of what is happening outside. So having seen that, then we went on to see that I am the doer, I am the seer, I am the experiencer. The self is the experiencer and the doer and the seer, whereas the body is an instrument which is providing all this information to the self and also taking the instructions. So the self will decide that you put a namaste, and then the body will do that, that action of a namaste to show some, some form of feeling to the others. Similarly, the self may say, go touch the feet, the body will go and touch somebody's feet to show some feeling. So there's a self which is deciding what to do, and the body is merely implementing all these decisions. So now the need is we need to understand the self in greater detail to see what's going on inside the self. So we went on to see that in the self, we have various activities which are going on in the form of desiring, thinking, and selecting. And this, we can see this desires as images within us. So the moment I say, for example, a dream house, okay. When I said the word dream house, each of you had an image about it in your mind. That my dream house, would look like this. That image would be dependent on how we grew up, where we grew up, what kind of upbringing we have, where we are living. It may depend on all those things and what we were exposed to. So, for example, in the US, somebody may think of a dream house as something else. In a city, somebody may think of that image of a dream house may be different for somebody in a city, whereas for somebody living in a rural area, that image of a dream house may be different. So these desires are in us in the form of images. So, and also similarly, let's say I tell something like a neat kitchen. Okay. The moment I say neat kitchen, you have an image about it, right? Again, it depends upon where we grew up, what we have been seeing, and what our aspirations are. Those kind of things. So for somebody in a city environment, the image of that beautiful kitchen would be different. For somebody in US, it will be different. For everywhere, it will be different, right? So these images are there in us. Also, they keep adding every time. Like for example, when somebody is performing a wonderful guitar on the stage, I see that performance, and I have this image that of a successful musician or a successful performer. I add that image into my head, and somewhere there is an inclination that okay, maybe I also should try to learn something this and entertain people around me. So these images are continuously bombarded upon us by the external world, whether it is parents or media or friends or books, everything is continuously putting these desires in the form of images in us. And so that's what we called as preconditioning. So they make these desires may be coming from the outside, and they also may be coming from the sensations. So for example, the desire, for example, it's a rainy day, okay, and you were imagining about eating something, okay. Suddenly a pakoda came into your mind, right? A rainy day pakoda. So that immediately triggered an image of a desire that on a rainy day I want to have a pakoda. And then you would also think what kind of pakoda I should make, or what kind of snack I should make, and then it will fit well into that image of on a rainy day I'm sitting on a porch and eating a snack, a spicy snack. That kind of image, it fits in well. So a sensation of a weather or something outside, or the taste of the food has triggered. The taste doesn't necessarily have to be only of the food. The taste is also about of something successful, of something, of a relationship. The taste of a moment in a relationship. It could be anything. So these triggers of that are coming in the form of a taste will trigger some analysis on how to trigger a thought basically, and then it may trigger a desire. So a car went by me, and a colorful, flashy car just went by me, and I saw that, and that image that I just saw triggered a desire in me that, wow, I wish I had such a car. So that desire suddenly popped up in front of me through a sensation, through a visual of a guy going in a car, uh, flashing by in a colorful car. So the sensations also could trigger desires. Preconditionings also could trigger desires. Whereas there is a third route of natural acceptance also, which could help us like assess our desires. So desires coming from natural acceptance, which are self-verified. After passing the self-verification, these are innate desires of a human being, and would actually lead to harmony. So actually, as of now, the complete disturbance that we have within ourselves is the conflict between this lower part. So this lower part is the mind. Okay. So this whole thing is mind, our imagination. And memory is also part of this. So, but the main thing that's going on is the imagination. We refer to this part of ourself. So just like we have parts of the body, we have various parts in the self, and this part of the self is called as mind, and this part of the self is our innateness, our swattva. So if these two are in alignment, if the innateness is in alignment with my mind, then there would be harmony. It will show up as harmony outside also. So I have a desire, for example, as per my natural acceptance, to keep my body healthy. So I would analyze how can I keep my body, whatever is required, whatever forms of exercise are required, shram is required, whatever nurturing is required, whatever protection is required. I would ensure that by making the right selections in my life and implement them. So the input is sensations and the output is instructions to body. So I would implement my desires in a harmonious. So when my body is healthy, then there is no worry about disease or worry about ill health, etc. So and the digestion is good. The parts of the body are in good order, etc. So this part, the upper part, if it is in harmony, this part is always actually trying to direct us in the right direction. We just need to try to access it. So people in the past also have referred to these as inner voice, something, the inner compass, etc., etc. Various names have been given for these, but we all need to train ourselves to access this information. So the moment we think about hurting somebody close to us, this natural acceptance block of ourselves will immediately trigger, no, that doesn't seem to be the right thing to do. So it's continuously indicating to us on what is right and what is not right, etc. Right? So we just need to learn to access this. So we may be wondering, why is this not acceptable? I mean, accessible. What mistake did I do that I did not? I'm not, accessing this thing. So the thing is, we have been trained to see very gross things. Like, for example, let me take an example of music, right? So we have music, for example. So so if we don't know anything about music, we just know whether the music is good music or bad music. I like this music, I don't like this music. For somebody who pays some more attention to the music, then they will think that, okay, now this music is, for a happy occasion, this music is for party occasion, this music is for a romantic occasion, this music is for a joyful occasion. So you can at least have some more knowledge about the music. Then if you pay some more attention to the detail of the music, then somebody will say, oh, he's singing at such a high pitch. See, somebody's singing at a low pitch. So some more details we got to know, right? And then if we pay even more attention to the music and try to understand things, the finer details of music, then we will see, oh, this note, that note, these are the notes of the music, and this is the raga that is going on. This is the swara or tala or whatever it is. This is the pace of the music. All that we are able to identify. And experts at that level will even identify what are the finer mistakes and what are the correct things and where something is going wrong. So what exactly is happening there is that from a gross reality of just a music to a very subtle thing, we are increasing our ability to observe by paying attention. So we paid more and more attention to music, more and more, we learn to see the subtler things. Similarly, in our life, generally we have been paying attention to very gross things like, I want more money, I want this kind of a house, I want more clothes, I want this kind of a fashion to be followed, I want my kids to be successful. So these are very gross things that are there, but we haven't really paid to the finer details about where this desire is coming from, how am I thinking, whether I'm thinking in the right direction or wrong direction. All these inside ourselves, we haven't paid attention to. So once we start paying attention to, we will gain this, just like we saw the subtleties of a music, or we saw the subtleties of a painting or anything. Similarly, we will appreciate the subtleties within the self, and then we will actually be able to see these as, steps in our own self happening continuously. Are these continuous, or do you have a break in these? Can you tell in the chat window the thinking, the desiring, and the selection? Is it happening? If you like, you don't even need to open your eyes or ears. Even if you close your eyes and ears, continuously there is some form of imagination or thinking or desiring or selection or expectation going on, right? So the self is continuous. It doesn't take a break. Unlike body, like body can walk for some time, it needs some rest, talk for some time, take some rest, eat for some time, take some rest. Whereas the self, it doesn't take any breaks. It's continuous. It may be doing desiring at some point, then sometime it is doing thinking, then sometimes it is doing selection. But the whole process of imagination is a continuous thing. Whether we are awake or sleeping, it goes on. In fact, I will tell my own experience. When I first attended this workshop, so my teacher asked me to pay attention to what is going on in the self, desiring, thinking, selection continuously. And for half a day, from that afternoon till the evening, I tried to pay attention. And you know what? When I went to sleep that day, I was like fully wide awake. I mean, usually when we sleep, sometimes we see the dreams, sometimes we don't remember the dreams, what's happening. But after paying attention for half a day, that night, I was like able to clearly be almost as if I was awake, but I was sleeping also. So, I mean, you also may experience this if on some days when you're anxious about what's going to happen next day. This thing is so intensely going on, the desiring, thinking, and expectation, that sometimes we don't even are not able to fall asleep also. It is that intense and continuous that happens in this. So that's what is going on in the self. So actually, from the yesterday's assignment that I have given, I wanted to take some examples and see what kind of this preconditioning, what kind of images about desires are being bombarded onto us by the media. So let's see what kind of assumptions are being pushed by. So let me quickly share the other tab where there are some videos. So just give me a moment. Are you able to hear the audio?
Mama! Is that really? Samira! Hi! Welcome!
Okay.
You know you've become really beautiful. Your face is fairer, glowing. It must be marriage.
Don't you believe that? For 2 months, I've been using Fair and Lovely. It lightens the color of the skin in a natural and gentle way.
Really?
And also protects the skin from the sun. Listen to your elder sister and try it.
Perfect. So I'll make a beautiful bride like you.
Fair and Lovely makes you noticeably fairer, gently, safely.
So I want you to type in the chat window, what are the kind of assumptions that this ad has tried to propagate or tried to push into our desires. So what is this ad trying to tell? And if we actually start believing whatever they are saying, what is the kind of thing we are going to take into our desires? Okay, so bride must be beautiful, fair is beautiful, it will fair color, it will make us fair, being fair is what we should strive for, fair and lovely makes you beautiful, fairness is necessary prerequisite to be a happy married life, beautiness to be fair. So wonderful, actually. Yeah, you all have hit it on the spot. So they are, what they're trying to say is that very subtly these ghosts, the ads are made in such a way a beautiful moment of our life is used, and an image is projected onto us. So what they're saying is that if you are fair, then you can see here for the perfect
Lovely
bride.
makes you noticeably fairer, gently, safely.
Yeah. So let's go to the next ad. So thanks for that. I mean, I will actually write them down also so that we can have a look at them. But let me play the next one first. So what is the next advertisement trying to say?
Glorious goddess, we see you. From your sleek hair seduction to the natural hair revolution, you are a revelation because your hair is your crown. And kissed by the sun, your skin reflects the shades of an African queen. I'll have a queen, the ruler that no one can measure. Her sleek supreme, no doubt cause she don't buckle under pressure. I'm ashamed, the one with the come up to look up. She's a boss and you suit up, moving so quick got you shook up. I'll have a crown, the Dracula, the lovely to slide. Mama, you know how to slide, don't need a man to get by. Supernatural pain, no need for a monster or a cat. Bow down to the crowd, come down. Don't look to the boys, let them right down. Tell them that they're coming for the queen now. Bow down to the crowd, bow down to the crowd, come down. Quality products made just for you. We are all dark and lovely.
So in an Indian context, what we saw was they were trying to promote the fair color as a symbolism of beauty. And if you need to be called as a beautiful bride, you need to be fair, is what we saw in the first ad. Otherwise, you are not even eligible to be called as a beautiful bride. And we see that also. We see that in our day-to-day life, what is happening with the brides, what kind of color we are trying to achieve in the form of a makeup, and all that is clearly visible also. So these are very strong impressions that go on to us, and they stay with us. They stay with us very silently until that occasion comes, and then it plays on us as to what kind of things we are doing in our lives. And we need a lot of courage to be able to say that this was just projected upon me, and this doesn't really have to be true. We need to have a lot of clarity, that right understanding, to be able to actually discard these things. They're very carefully planned and implanted onto us, right? So then you saw, and in an Indian context, they said the fair is the beautiful, and in an African context, they said the dark and dark is lovely. So we are all dark and lovely. So again, from place to place, the conditioning keeps changing, and these images are pushed on not after they're pushed on from a very early age. So the moment the kids are getting exposed to all this media, we don't know what even the child is thinking. They are continuously the child is continuously taking these images and storing them in them, and when later these will play a significant role in what their choices are, what their direction is. So let's see another ad. This is a Telugu one, so sorry for some of you who won't be able to understand, but I will explain.
గోపి చెప్పు రాదా, మన పెళ్ళయ్యాక మనం కూడా ఒక బుజ్జి కుక్క పిల్లని తెచ్చుకుందామా? వద్దు రాదా, నేనే ఒక తోక పెట్టుకుని నీ వెనకాల కుక్క పిల్లలా తిరుగుతాను రాదా. అలాగే. హలో ఓయ్ నాన్న. ఏంటన్నది? ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ అన్నది. అంతగా చూడడానికి ఏముంది అక్కడ? ఇందులో ఉండే కిక్ ఇంకెందులో ఉంటదిరా. అంటే ఆ పక్కింట్లో సొగసరి కోడలు ఎగతాళి చేస్తే గడసరి అత్తకి ఎక్కడో కాలింది. అత్తగారు డబ్బా అందుకుంటూ కోడలి డిప్ప మీద ఉప్పు పడేసి దొంగ ప్రేమ నటించింది. మహానటి. ఓహో, ఇంతమంది మహానటులు మన చుట్టూ ఉండగా ఇంకా వేరే ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ ఏం కావాలరా? మై డియర్ ఇంటి సభ్యులరా, ఇంతకన్నా 100 రెట్ల బెటర్ ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ నేను సెట్ చేస్తాను. తీయండి రిమోట్లు, ఫిక్స్ అవ్వండి బిగ్ బాస్. నిజమైన ఎమోషన్స్, అసలైన ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ ఇక్కడంతా లైవ్. Wow. Big Boss Season 4. Entertainment like never before.
Big Boss 4, co-presented by Oppo.
So can you tell what is being? I mean, sorry, at least the people who understand Telugu, can you tell what are the things that are being pushed in this ad very subtly, silently, beautifully, using very well-known actors who have a lot of credibility and all? Expression is different. The ads are actually. Can you try to see what they're trying to tell in this ad? What is the image that is going on? So yeah, okay, take a couple of minutes and try to think. Knowing the internal details of others' family is more entertaining. Yeah. So you very rightly said, Shadab. Actually. So what they're trying to say is they were peeping out of the window and they were seeing what's going on in the house next door, right? And they were saying that what is more entertaining than what is entertaining than watching neighbors' life and analyzing their life and seeing all the things that are happening in their life. So we don't have to be worried about what's going on in our life, what is happening in our relationships, and worrying about, but judging the other people and having that entertainment of discussing and judging the others, that is more entertaining. Let's have that entertainment, right? So that is what is being silently and subtly pushed in this advertisement, right? Nobody is talking about look into your life, resolve your issues, but get entertained by gossiping about your neighbors and people around you. And yeah, so that's what is happening. Let's just look at this other one. what is happening to us when we are looking at this ad?
Sun-Drops super refined sunflower oil, the healthy oil for healthy people. Sun-Drops super refined sunflower oil, the healthy oil for healthy people.
Sundrop from Fantasy. Buy pure, be sure.
So can you tell what's happening to you when you are watching this video? Sensational attraction, we see happy seeing others on this. It's okay, healthy to eat junk cooked in this particular oil. Hide the sides of advertisement. Good video. This oil is for healthy people. Delicious food. Sundrop is for healthy. Healthy oil is required. Right. So it is actually yeah. So like Rajesh Nairji told, it is tempting to eat that food. So the moment we are seeing those, fluffy puris and those other dishes that are cooking on the pans, we feel like eating. The moment we saw that sensation triggered, array, today is a Sunday, let me, go have some puris. Those kind of ad triggered us. This doesn't necessarily have to be. I don't know. I mean, I'm not judging the ad whether this is a healthy food or not healthy food. But what I tried to communicate from this advertisement is that the sensations, visual things also can trigger taste in our self, and our mouth can start watering even imagining some foods, and that triggers a desire. The desire could be something like asking our wife or spouse or even ourselves, cooking, let me make puris today and eat. And so that is a desire triggered from the sensations. So we talked about two kinds of desires, right? One is coming from the outside as a preconditioning. The other is about coming from the sensation. There could be preconditioning also. Some of you saw that preconditioning that this oil, if you are cooking, then even though they are all fried or some other kind of foods, they are still healthy. That could also be a preconditioning coming. So ultimately, it's for us to verify whether that those kind of foods are healthy for us or not. Whereas no. If you can please go ahead and make your puris without any guilt. All I'm saying is that these kind of images trigger sensations in us. So like whenever there is a rainy day, my wife says that I want to eat pakoda. So that kind of weather itself, the sensations itself triggered a desire to eat pakodi for her. So so I'm not judging here whether puris are healthy or not. So please go ahead with your whatever you wanted to make today. So so anyway, let's go into the next one. Let's see what this one is saying.
The first year of your baby's life is definitely one of the most exciting and amazing. There's just so much to see and do. In fact, a baby's brain almost doubles in size by 1 year of age. Thankfully, with Enfamil Premium Infant Formula, you can be sure you're providing your baby what he or she needs with a nutritional blend created especially for those first 12 months of life. Enfamil's formula includes DHA, which promotes brain and eye development. It also contains the Natural Defense Prebiotics blend that is designed to help support the growth of helpful bacteria found in your baby's digestive tract. So be sure your baby makes the most of that first year with a little help from Enfamil Premium Infant Formula.
So can you tell what is what kind of conditioning or assumptions this ad is trying to push? Promoting tinned formula for babies, not sticking to the normal diet. Growth of baby, for the baby to grow well, we need to give Enfamil formula in first year. They're promoting that formula foods are good. Okay. Yeah, so actually, right. So somebody, Ravi Kumarji mentioned hidden message is that Enfamil is better than the mother's milk. So yeah, need not bother about breastfeeding. Formula as replacement. Very right. So what it is saying is, see, sometimes mothers may have the breast milk or may not have the breast milk. That is conditional and situations. But what this ad is trying to indirectly plant is a fear that whether the breast milk is sufficient to make use of that critical time in the first year when the brain is developing. Enfamil is taking care of all the things that are required to develop the brain, whereas we are not guaranteed or we are not sure about the breast milk. Nobody is going to make an ad, right, that your mother's milk is the best milk for the baby. That ad we don't see. But this what this formula ad is saying is that we will definitely make sure that this will ensure that the child is growing well. Also, if you see those kind of chubby children and with all very chubby body, so you actually breastfed babies may not be that chubby. So there are people that we know who feel insecure just because their kid is not that chubby. They are insecure that whether the mother's milk is actually meeting all the needs of the baby or not. In the advertisements, the babies are so chubby and round. My baby is not like that. So there is this insecurity that gets created. So we are not even saying whether it's okay to give formula or not give the formula. But the thing is that implicit fears that are being planted in us, and if we are not well informed whether to use it or not, at what stage we have to use it, or whether the mother's milk is the best milk, we need to be informed on all these things. Otherwise, they can play with our fears because we don't want to take risks with our babies, right? So, right. So that is the kind of conditioning that is being pushed in that ad. So let's see this one.
3 centimeters FSD, multifunction on-screen display, 30-channel preset memory, 2-way twin angular 4-speaker system, electronic. When Oneida performs, everybody goes speechless. Oneida, neighbor's envy, owner's pride.
So what is this ad trying to tell? Yeah, so like you have seen, it is saying about neighbor's envy is owner's pride. So they are not saying that have a good relationship with your neighbor, don't try to make your neighbor jealous of you and things like that. But actually what they are saying is it is going to promote jealousy in your neighbor for sure. And then it's a matter of pride for you that they are jealous of you. That is what this is indirectly telling. This ad is promoting, right? So if we are not conscious and if we are not aware, these silently they will sit inside us. These kind of images and thoughts and assumptions, they will sit inside us. I want to make a house which will make people jealous of me. I want to buy a car which will make people jealous of. They should feel jealous of me. So these are I need to be better than my neighbor. Yes, like Deepti ma'am just said. So these are things that are being pushed onto us. So if we are not evaluating, self-verifying whether somebody has to mute, please. Right. Yeah. Thank you. So whether I want to be in a relationship with my neighbor, or whether I want to be in this state of jealousy with the neighbor, that is something we have to think. Whether I want mutual happiness in my relationships or jealousy and envy in my relationships is something that we have to think about and validate. Right? So let's see what this one is saying.
नेहा
मॉर्निंग सर।
पहला दिन पर चमकदार कपड़ों में तुम 100% बैंकर लग रही हो।
थैंक यू सर।
लेकिन रिक्शा में क्यों?
सर ये मेरे पापा हैं।
ओ
बॉस।
नमस्ते सर। आपको मिलकर बहुत बहुत खुशी हुई।
आपकी चमक ही आपकी पहचान है, इसलिए रिन इसकी ब्राइट क्लीन टेक्नोलॉजी रेशे रेशे में छिपे मैल को निकाले और कपड़ों को।
So what is this ad promoting? Can somebody try to identify? There are at least 4 assumptions that they have pushed in this ad. So first, the moment he saw her, he said first day of work and you're shining, right? So an image of first day of work has been pushed onto us. Then he asked, but why are you coming in an auto rickshaw? So on first day of work, you're not supposed to go in an auto rickshaw. That's the second thing that they have questioned, right? Then they neatly they have covered it up by saying that, okay, the auto driver is actually my father, and I'm not really feeling shy to introduce. So they have covered that up by saying that with a wonderful emotion that of introducing the father as a auto rickshaw driver. Then आपकी चमक ही आपकी पहचान है. So they said you need to be shining always. That's your identity. So this is what the clothes become your identity. The clothes are going to define what you are. So that's what has been subtly and silently pushed on to us. So if we are not aware, these ads we will keep seeing, children keep seeing. They're like we said, they're going to condition us about our first day of job. They're going to condition about what we are thinking and how we think and our decisions also. So let's see this one.
From their very first days, your baby starts to write their future. And breastfeeding provides them with the best start in life. Inspired by 40 years of breast milk research, our experts created our range of Aptamil follow-on milks. If you choose to move on, Aptamil follow-on milks contain our unique blend of ingredients, helping you to lay the foundations for your baby's future. Aptamil follow-on milks, their future starts today.
Yeah. So actually, in this ad, did anybody notice anything that is silently, subtly being pushed on to us? Milk to breast milk. This is almost MS. Okay. Okay. So actually, the formula is of maybe that is also there, but the silent images that got pushed are these.
From the baby starts to write their future.
So here, what they tried to say is that the girl baby has to kind of grow up and become a ballerina girl, right? And whereas the boy will actually go on to become a scientist. This ad has been actually pulled down in Europe because of the stereotype that was pushed. So this boy here, he is becoming a scientist, whereas the girl will become a dancer. Or a ballerina girl only. So the girls are not, it's not natural for the girls to become scientists and for the boys to become dancers. So that will be out of the way. And let's see one quickly, this ad from US.
All right, man, we got them all lined up. Nail this little sucker. Come on, which one is it? Point to it.
It's me. You should have guessed.
Which one is it? Point to it. All right, man, we got them all lined up. Nail this little sucker. Come on, which one is it? Point to it.
So this is the image actually that is subtly being promoted here, saying that what is being promoted. Can somebody say what's being promoted here? Yeah. So they're promoting the fact that if you have to be a criminal, it's the dark skinned ones that are doing the crime, and there's nothing, nobody else in this who is doing it. This commercial actually is also from Pepsi and has been pulled down in US. It has been withdrawn by Pepsi. So, and this is a nice video which is talking about what we are talking.
As children, there is no limit to what we believe we can become. But as girls and boys, we are steered in different directions growing up. This happens because of what we call gender stereotypes, traditional ideas about what boys and girls can or should do. They may not always be obvious, but stereotypes are everywhere, and they start to follow us from our earliest days in the toy store, and continue to influence us when choosing subjects at school. For instance, girls are expected to be good at arts and humanities, while boys are led towards maths and science. When we come across the same stereotypes again and again, they begin to feel natural and start to shape our preferences and career paths. More men go into better paid jobs in the science, technology, engineering and mathematics field, and women tend to choose teaching and social work professions. Acknowledging gender stereotypes and their consequences is the first step towards breaking the mold, so that we build our lives based on our own choices.
Okay. This ad also may be promoting some stereotypes, but the thing is, yeah, so we need to be conscious about what we are doing to our children and be careful about whatever consciously or unconsciously we may be pushing on them. So men and women will come to respect actually based on body what is determined and based on what the self is determined. So with that, let's get back to our discussion. So what we tried to say here is that these images. So okay, let me go back to the blackboard and then we'll talk about this. Just a moment, please. Yeah, so we are back to our discussion. So what we are noticing is that this preconditioning that is coming from the outside and sitting in the form of desires as images in us, this is happening without our knowledge, without our awareness. And if we are going to live by this, then this would be called as paratantrata. So some of it may be good, some of it may not be good. Like some things that our elders say, we have imbibed them into us without even verifying and whether they are causing harmony to me and my life or not. We have taken them as it is. So if the input is good, if we are lucky, then it may be good. It may work out. But if the input is not good or faulty, then it will lead to conflicts within us and outside us in our behavior. So the only solution to this is taking all these assumptions. They are called manyatas in Hindi, and Telugu also they are called manyatalu. So these assumptions, whenever it is an unverified thing, it becomes an assumption. When it is verified, then it becomes my right understanding and knowledge. So it becomes our duty, and that's what we are trying to do in this workshop. We are initiating this process of self-verification. And once it initiates, it continues to do this for everything that we are seeing. And we are aware of what we are taking into us and not taking into us. So living by this outside, the input coming from outside is paratantrata. And this we said, by living by our innate nature is swatantrata. Right? In fact, I'll tell you one very nice, funny example that happened yesterday in my house. So we are at my uncle's place, and he smokes. And my child, who is 5 years, she asked me, what is he doing? That he said it's smoking and it is bad. She also asked the same thing with somebody else, and this others also said that yeah, it's a bad thing. And you know what she did? She, without telling anybody, took the smokes, cigarettes, and hid them somewhere that my uncle was not able to find. He was searching all over the house. Where are the cigarettes? Where is my the cigarette packet? He was not able to find. This girl, who is 5 years old, took those smokes because the parents or some input she got saying that this is a bad thing to do, and she got so easily, like she took that and she took it so seriously that without even telling, even when somebody's searching, she was not even telling that that she has hidden the cigarettes somewhere. After a day or so, when some others were saying, like, why don't you go tell your grandfather that this smoking is not good, and she said, I know that smoking is not good, that's why I hid these cigarettes at some place. She was revealing very silently that she was the one who hid those. So children pick up even quickly. So this conditioning. So that's why we are saying conditioning is not all that bad, but also we should encourage the kids to think for themselves, to try and access this natural acceptance. So all input, whether this workshop or scriptures or others, every input that we give as parents, or this goes as conditioning initially, but then once we start evaluating that input, then it becomes our own natural acceptance. So with that, I request you all to continue to reflect upon this. What are the kind of desires and what kind of conflicts are there. I just wanted to mention how, and these desires are usually conflicting with each other also. So I just want to give one example on how we have conflicting desires within. So, like for example, I want a good salary. This is a desire I have. I also have a desire. I want to work as less as possible. Then I also have another desire, like I want job satisfaction. What happened? One second, suddenly the display went off on my laptop. Just give me a second, please. Sorry, I may need a minute here. Suddenly the laptop went blank somehow, so I will have to restart it quickly, but it should be quick, less than a minute or so. So yeah, while I while this PC restarts, let's say the third one is something like I want job satisfaction, and the fourth one is I want job security. Is there a conflict in these desires? Is there a conflict between having all four at the same time amongst the desires? Right. So very good salary, less work, job satisfaction, and job security. All we want at the same time. So these desires, one desire is conflicting with the other desire. They all at the same time can never be fulfilled, right? Similarly, let's say we have another set of desires, something like I want to be very healthy, okay, and I want to be without any issues in my body. I don't want any diseases in my body. I want to keep eating a lot of tasty foods. Then that's the third desire. And I want to have good digestion. These are the four desires that I have. One set of desires. So which desire is conflicting with which one? Can we identify? I want to be very healthy. I want to keep eating a lot of tasty foods. And I want good digestion. And I don't want any diseases in me. Is there a conflict in this set of desires also? Yes. Yeah, the screen is going to come, ma'am. Just a second. Sorry, it's still coming up. So the other set of desires also, we notice there is conflict. So we have, there are many sets of desires like this which are conflicting with each other, and we have all of them at the same time in us, and we want to fulfill all of them. Similarly, there is another set of desires, like I want to wear the most fashionable dress, okay, but I don't want I want everyone to greet me with warmth, but I want to catch everybody's attention, all at the same time. Is that possible? I want to wear the most fashionable dress, but I don't want anybody to feel jealous about me. Okay, the meeting is coming back. Just a second, please. So yeah, we are coming back to this. So we have many set of desires which are conflicting with each other. So let's look into our desires and see if there are conflicts like that. Because if we have conflicting desires, that is one of the causes for dissatisfaction and confusion and disharmony within myself. We can look at more such. There are many such of desires. I want to, when we are going for a party, we all face this. I want to wear the most fashionable dress that I have, but I want everybody to be very warm to me. Nobody should feel jealous about me, or nobody should think bad about me. But I want to catch everybody's attention. These all are at the same time within me, right? So similarly, then there is another set of desires. Like I want to watch TV whenever I get free time, but my kids should never watch TV. They should be responsible and go and sit there and sit and do their homework. Aren't these two conflicting things? Whenever I get a chance, I want to go and watch TV, but we expect our kids to go and do their homework without watching TV. This is the expectation, because kids are following the parents, right? How is it possible? Yeah. So there are many sets I wanted to share, but let me go into the next stage of the topic, that is about the body. So please reflect upon this self. Please try to see where your desires are coming up, whether your desires are innately coming from within you, or whether they are coming from outside in the form of conditioning and are triggered by sensations. So please keep a watch on your desires, and that will help understand ourselves much better, in a much better way. But I want to quickly enter into this topic of harmony with the body. So we saw that a human being is a coexistence of self and body, right? And in the and we saw self, we went into the details of self, what are the things in self and where they are coming from, all that we saw. Then the relationship between the self and body also, we need to have a quick look. And in this, first thing, we also saw that body is kind of the instrument of self. Self is the instruction giver and body follows those instructions, right? So the first thing is, who is responsible for the body? Who is responsible for taking care of my body? So this feeling of sanyama is self-regulation, it's called, that I am responsible for nurturing, protection, and right utilization. So I am the one who is responsible. That is, the self is responsible for nurturing, protection, and right utilization of my body. This feeling, having this feeling in me, is called as sanyama. This feeling is important. Otherwise, we can never maintain our body in a healthy way, right? So then the second part is swasthya, about body. That is the health itself, right? And in the health, there are two parts. So the first part is body is able to take instructions. So body is acting according to the instructions from self. So if my leg is not moving when I want to move it, then my body is not in good health. Or if my hand is not lifting, if my neck is not turning, or I'm not able to stand up as per the wishes of the self, then the body is not in a healthy state, right? Then the second aspect of health is harmony amongst the parts of the body. So the parts of the body need to function, like the kidneys are interacting with various parts. All the parts there is a beautiful harmony, right, amongst all the parts. So that harmony among the parts of the body need to be among the parts of the body. That's also the aspect of health. Now, to ensure health, there are 5 parts. So like ahara and vihara. So first is poshana, so that is nurturing. Then there is protection. We said these are the 3 things, right? and then right utilization. So to maintain the health, for nurturing, we need ahar. That is the input, that's the food. And for protection, we need vihar. Vihar is rest. Then we have shram. Shram is some work to do some production, like growing vegetables, or you're doing some creating some object out of wood, creating something out of clay. So all that is shram. Shram is for production. And then vyayam. So vyayam is, as you know, it's like various exercises or yoga, etc., to ensure that the body is in a healthy state. And then there is asana and pranayam. So you all know the asanas and pranayam, also the various postures and breathing exercises are there. And then we have aushadhi and chikitsa. So aushadam is, medicine. And sometimes, so body has this self-healing capability. So if we give the right aushadhi in the form of, even food is a medicine actually. So if we give the right food, the body may help heal itself. And in some cases, even when that healing is not happening, some chikitsa in the form of a surgery or some other is required. So this is the scope of the complete harmony with the body. So we don't actually pay a lot of attention to the body if we observe. So the body is, for example, whether the body is hungry or not, we start dumping food into it. Right. So think about it, when we are eating, whether we are eating just because there is a craving in the self, or whether the body is actually hungry. Next time when you try to eat, try to observe this. Similarly, body is sending a lot of information. Body is sending information about discomfort, some kinds of pain, some leg pain, some back pain, some neck pain. So all kinds of information body actually keeps sending to the self. But the self is such a busy thing that it is occupied in so many things. We don't really pay so much attention to even our own body also. So we are busily engrossed in something or the other, whatever keeps us busy. It could be work, it could be entertainment, it could be TV, but the inputs from the body are missed out often. So the stress, actually, if you see, the stress reflects in the form of some kind of stiffness, or all these inputs of stiffness, pain, etc., are being sent by the body. And if we actually note them, then we can take some corrective action on the body. Also, somebody said yesterday, I'm eating the food for the first time. How do I know that whether I am eating a healthy food or not? Okay, sometimes the taste itself will tell whether the food is conducive or not. In case you didn't know it, at least the digestion will tell how the digestion went. Then that will tell whether the food was conducive to your body or not. So are we really paying attention to how the food is getting digested, or every time the digestion fails, still we eat that spicy biryani and then have the digestion problem in the morning, right? So if we pay attention to what's happening to our body, how is the digestion going on, whether the parts of the body are functioning fine or not, then we will be able to see all these realities. For all of that, first of all, we need to have this feeling of sanyam. That is my responsibility towards my body. That it is my responsibility to take care of my body. Nobody else. I mean, sometimes like the mother will take care of the child's body, parents take care of the children's body. So all that is there, but ultimately I am the one who is responsible for the health of my own body. Right? Okay. So any questions? Maybe I can take one or two questions about the self and the body. So far, any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello, Prabhula ji. Namaste.
To remain healthy, parishram itself is enough.
Parishram, you mean shram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not, you said about many things like posture and yasana and all that. But if people do proper shram, which will produce also, and save time, as well as it will keep fit, perhaps.
Yeah. Mm. Okay, sure, sir. I'll respond to that. So that's a good question, and that's a thought even many of us get. But the thing is, sometimes depending on the kind of work we are doing, suppose for example a potter. So a potter is doing a lot of shram, but he is sitting in a particular posture, and some parts of the body are getting worked out, but the rest of the parts of the body may not be getting that kind of exercise that they need. So what Vyayam and Asana Pranayam are doing is that ensuring that the holistic exercise comes to the body, not just few parts. So a lot of people who are doing shram, let's say somebody who's lifting weights, their hands and joints are getting extreme exercise, but maybe the back is not get strengthening, the neck is not getting strengthened. I'm just giving some examples. So although we do a lot of shram in parishram itself, and some parts of the body may be getting exercised very well, but there are some other aspects of the health which will be ensured if we do the other things like Vyayam, Asana, Pranayam. Will ensure that holistically our body is taken care of. But this shram itself is not done most of the times. Like even at the home, most of the shram related work is not even shared as of today by everybody. Some people are doing too much shram, and some people are not doing enough shram. So shram is one very good way to keep our body healthy. But for a holistic way to keep it healthy, these other aspects will be helpful. Okay. Any other questions? I can take one more maybe.
Hey Suman, this is Pawan. So I think yesterday you very beautifully explained the differences between eye versus body. So I'm kind of continuing that to this. I think the one that you're talking is definitely, I mean, I think the world has explored enough and explored a lot of solutions for physical fitness. I'm morely inclined towards how do we improve the mental fitness, which is more about I and my inner self. I'm sure this program is whole around that. I'm pretty clear about that, but how can we get better on those specific aspects?
Sure, Pawanji. So you're right that there is a lot of effort being put. That's why if you see, I didn't spend a lot of time on the body part. The reason, like you said, is because there is enough work and enough information, enough importance already being given to the taking care of the body. But that sense of responsibility towards body is also something I want to highlight. But regarding the self, you're true. You're right that there is not much effort or importance being paid to this, and that's why we need to pay attention to this. Very simple. Actually, I wanted to. Your question reminds me something I wanted to tell. So let's start paying attention to ourselves. What is going on in myself? What is the imagination? There may be a lot of wrong desires or wrong things that we have accumulated. That's okay. But the thing is, like one of my teachers, he takes this example. I'll take this example. So if there is a classroom full of children and there's no teacher, and there is a lot of noise. The children are doing whatever they want to do. There is a lot of commotion in the class. There is a lot of chaos in the class, right? Now that's like our mind without a teacher. Now the moment the teacher comes into the picture, there is somebody observing us. So all the children suddenly become alert. So whatever naughty things they were doing, they will suddenly start becoming more alert, and they will try to avoid obviously doing and getting caught, etc. So it's like that. So our own self. So we become that observer. So we are the observer of our own self. And once we start observing our own self, this part mind which is there also start becoming cautious and won't do anything whatever it wishes to do. The desires will start falling in place, the thinking will start falling in place, and the selection will start falling in place. So the best thing we can do to ourselves is becoming observer of our own self. Our own self will start becoming alert. So I would say that if you really want to improve our mental health, just start paying attention. You start paying attention to what is going on. Because see, once we have already initiated, you are already in the process of self-verification. You can't escape. You're caught. So the beauty about the self-verification thing is once it starts, it go on till all the life. It will go on forever. So as long as we start paying this attention to ourself and what is going on in the self, this is my desire. The moment you say that this is my desire, then immediately whether this is right or not, the question will automatically follow, and you will think about it whenever there is time. You will think about it. So I would say that if you want to improve our mental health, the starting point is just paying attention to what is going on in the self. So some people do it in the form of meditation. Some people don't need to actually sit at a specific place and close their eyes. But even just doing everything that they're doing, they can still reflect upon this, depending on what works for you. Whether sitting alone and separately and reflecting in the self works, or whether in the day-to-day life, just asking yourself the question about why is this desire in me? Why am I doing this? What if that works better? We can keep doing that. Whatever it is, but my important suggestions during this workshop and after the workshop is become an observer of your own self. That is what I can advise to become mentally strong.
Sure.
Can I ask you a question? Hello.
Sure. Yeah. 1 second, Sri Kumarji. Pavanji, is that okay?
Yeah, I said thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pavanji. Yeah. Sri Kumarji. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, what's your opinion on this vegetarian sattvic food, the likes of which Sadhguru and others talk about?
Sure, sir. We'll come to it when we talk about nature. Let's understand nature, food, what is plants, what are animals, what are human beings. Let's look into a little bit of understanding about nature and then decide on what we should eat and what we should not eat. So I will postpone that question to a couple, maybe 3-4 days. When we come to nature, let's take that up, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. So, but I would say that first, as far as food is concerned, let's at least pay attention to the fact whether it's getting digested well or not. If it is not getting digested well, let's try to see that we don't eat that more often. Once in a while, once in a month, once in 2 months, once in 3 months, that's still okay. But that the moment it is not digesting well, the next day when we are in the morning we are struggling, then let's remember that we don't pay attention to that. We eat the same thing again. We struggle. We keep doing the same thing in a loop for years together. So that's one thing definitely at least we can keep in the mind about the food. Sattvic is probably a next level of things. We'll go to that level, but let's first eat what is easily digestible by the body. That's the first step towards health. Okay, so then let's go into, I want to introduce something to you all regarding the most important and most interesting section of this workshop, that is the relationships. Many of you have been asking already questions also in the discussion session, and let's go into what these relationships are, and let's try to understand this, because these are the biggest troublemaker in our life, right? What is paining you all the most? Is it the lack of physical facilities or the troubles in the relationships? What is troubling you the most in life? RRR, okay, I don't know what that is, but is it the relationships or lack of physical facilities? What troubles you the most in life? Relationships, okay. Relationships, okay, great. All right, so let's try to initiate. So this topic will relationships, since because it's the most important topic, we'll spend a good solid maybe 2 days on this. But let me get started on this. So, harmony in the family. So the first thing about the relationships is that the relationship is. So what that means is that relationship is is that we don't form relationships. We don't create relationships between human beings. We are born into relationships, right? So the moment we are born, we already have a relationship as a child and a parent. We have relationships as brother and sister. We have relationships as uncle, aunt, grandfather, grandparent, and slowly we also start getting friends and everything. So relationships exist, whether we recognize that or not. The relationships are existing between every two individuals on in this existence. So that's why we are saying relationship is there. Okay. Second thing is the fulfillment may vary. So if I'm here and you are in India and I haven't met somebody, the fulfillment of relationship between two people may happen when they're coming in contact. So that is the fulfillment part. So when sampark happens, so when we are coming in contact with others, the fulfillment, there is an opportunity for fulfillment of these relationships. But we should recognize the fact that whether we are in contact or whether we are not in contact, the relationship is there. Okay. And then the second part is that the relationship is between one self and the other self. Why I have to specifically say this? Because human being 1 is equal to self 1 plus body 1, and human being 2 is equal to self 2 plus body 2. Now the relationship is not between these two bodies, it is between the self and self. This is also an important thing to recognize. Because we don't recognize this, sometimes we feel related only to the blood relationships, not beyond, not outside blood relationships. And that is one of the reasons when a daughter-in-law comes into a house, suddenly we cannot accept that person as a family member so easily. Because we are relating to other people on the basis of blood and on the basis of bodily relationships, we are not able to relate to anybody so easily. So the other point we need to recognize is that relationship is between a self and a self, not between a body and a body. And the third point about relationships is that feelings are definite. That means what feelings are definite means is that between any two individuals, if you take, there are feelings and they can be recognized and fulfilled. We will see what these feelings are, how to recognize them and how to fulfill them. But this is at a fundamental level, we are talking about a relationship, a human-human relationship. We are talking about at a fundamental level between any two individuals. The relationship is there, and the relationship is between one self and the other self. And the feelings are there. There are feelings between two human beings, and these feelings are definite. They are not random feelings. They are definite feeling and can be identified. If we recognize and fulfill these feelings, it leads to mutual happiness. And when this fulfillment happens, this mutual happiness is when the feelings are recognized between two individuals and they're fulfilled between two individuals, and this mutual happiness is being ensured, then we say there is justice in that relationship. It's called nyaya. So in Telugu also the word is nyayam. We say nyayanga undi anedi. So the same thing in nyaya in Hindi. It's that so forget about the word. The thing is, the feelings are identified and they are being fulfilled, leading to mutual happiness in that relationship. Then that state of relationship where there is mutual fulfillment, mutual happiness, that is there is justice in that relationship. Okay. Now, what are these feelings? What are these definite feelings that we are talking about? Let me introduce them also. So there are actually 9 feelings that we are going to talk about, and these 9 feelings exist in every human being. So in every relationship, these feelings are there. So the first one is trust, then respect, then affection, care, guidance, reverence, glory, gratitude, and love. So one thing about these feelings, let's not get stuck at the word, because the meaning in which, the sense in which we are going to define these feelings, please try to focus on that, because the words that are being used here may have been used in some other senses in our day-to-day life. So don't try to relate that word to this meaning. So let's focus on the meanings. We will go one by one. In every relationship, there are the feelings are there, and they are definite, and there are actually 9 feelings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And all these feelings can be identified in relationships, and they can be fulfilled in relationships. Now, how to identify them and how to fulfill them, that's what we are going to do. We'll take up each of these feelings. Say, for example, trust we are going to take up. And then we are going to take up respect in detail, then affection, then care. Each of them we'll try to go in detail and identify all the feelings and try to see how we can fulfill them. Whether we are able to fulfill them or whether there is something that is stopping us from fulfilling, we will identify that. So since we have only 3 or 4 minutes, I don't want to introduce the trust today. So if you have any questions so far, maybe you can ask. A couple of questions I can take. Anything related till now, like the self and body, self or body. Yeah, Ramakrishna sir.
A human relationship between human and human, we are talking. I think birds, animals, nature also comes under this. We should have a relationship with all the things, I think.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so relationship is there with everything, not just birds and animals. Even relationship with soil and trees also will be there. But what we are talking here is harmony in a family. So the relationship, we are talking about the human relationship here. So when it comes to human relationship, that human relationship is between oneself and other self is what we are saying.
Thank you.
But in general, relationship is there because my participation is there as part of nature, society, everything. So in nature, I participate with even the material nature, plant nature, animal nature, everything we participate with. But here we are talking about the human relationships. And human relationships are between the self and the self. So I'll tell you one very nice movie example. There are two identical, there are two people fighting there in a movie. In a climax scene, they're almost about to kill each other, okay, because of some enmity between them. And suddenly somebody comes in the background and says, Ruko, tum dono ek hi maa ke bacche ho. You know, you both are the sons of the same mother, but you have been in different parts and now you're fighting with each other. Somebody comes in the background and says that. Suddenly, those two people who are about to kill each other with a sword, they drop their swords and suddenly they start hugging each other and have wonderful feelings between the two. Now, what happened, the identification there became based on the body. Just because they are brothers, they were able to recognize this relationship. If they were not brothers, they were ready to kill each other. Right? So, there are many occasions where we identify relationships based on the bodies. But what I'm trying to propose in front of you is that the relationship is between a self, and it can be between any two selves. And the feelings are also identifiable between the two selves and can be recognized and fulfilled. So if there is any other question, we can take one more.
Yeah, I have one. You've written 9, let's say, attributes. But
Yes, sir, ninth
if
feeling.
you look at the ninth one, love, everything else,
Yes.
what you have listed before, are actually
Mhm.
parts of what is called love, right? Whether it is care or respect or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll come to that, sir. We are going to define each of them in detail. We'll spend at least 15 or maybe even half an hour on some of the important ones. So we'll go into very detail. So yeah, love is an encompassing feeling. It's the ultimate feeling. That's why we have written it at the last. But we will come to them in detail. Let me not jump and give half information here. But you're right that yes, the love is that encompassing feeling and not defined in the way it's used in the movies here. The love here we are talking about is a feeling of relationship with everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Oh, it's actually I think 11 o'clock. So yeah, thank you. So I know some of our friends could not join maybe because it's a Sunday morning. So Sunday morning and right understanding, probably there were two conflicts in the desires there. So let's try to maybe empathize with them, and hopefully they will all join in tomorrow again. But so please take some hour out in the evening today and let the discussion continue. Let this journey within into our own selves, which is a very important thing and has been missed out in our education, unfortunately. Let's try to pay attention to this, and I request you all to give importance to this and join the discussion sessions in the evening. They are going wonderfully, almost like we are saying more than half of you were participating. So the remaining half also, if you join, it will be very effective, and it will be fruitful for even the facilitators also. So please do join. Please do reflect upon the questions that we are going to share. Some of you are doing excellent job at doing the assignments. Thank you so much for your sincerity. It encourages us also. And see you all in the evening session and then tomorrow morning.